there, everybody. My name's Dr. Alexis Romero. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I am a functional medicine clinical nutrition physician who owns Optimal You Beyond Chiropractic in Ponte, Vedra Beach. This is my first attempt at doing a webinar, so hang in there with me. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're talking a little bit about intention setting, goal keeping, changing habits, and how this can affect many aspects of your life, including hormonal balance, keeping diets, all sorts of good stuff. So let's get started. New year, new you. How cliche. I think everybody and their brother has done a presentation on this week. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do think there's a negative association a little bit about saying that we have to completely reinvent ourselves every new year. We have to change everything about what we're doing, and I don't think that creates positivity around transformation. Instead, it creates pressure and negative emotions, especially after having such a hard year like 2020 was for all of us. So as much as I like the idea of forming a new you, I think what we're doing is just improving upon the incredible person that you already are by helping you make changes that you see may benefit your life, your health, your whatever you're after, whatever your goals are. So I want to talk a little bit about something called the habit loop. All human behavior and habits that we form that become habitual in nature are based off of this loop, and it consists of 4 parts: a cue, a craving, response, and reward. A cue is something that occurs in your environment throughout the day to trigger a craving or the thought, the desire to perform your habit. The physical behavior is called response. So it can be anything from smoking a cigarette to eating foods that maybe aren't the best choices for us, to over-exercising, to going to sleep at the proper time of night. These can be positive and negative behaviors both. The reward is whatever satisfaction we get, if it's biochemical in nature or something physical like satiation from eating. That is the reward to your behavior, and that is what you're really seeking through creating habits and acting out these behaviors. So what part of the brain forms habits? Neuroscientists have traced our habit-making behavior to a part of the brain called the basal ganglia, and this plays a role in the development of emotions, memories, and pattern recognition. So if you think of that and you think about how these behaviors are formed in this 4-stage process, that makes a lot of sense. Decisions, however, are made in a different part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. As soon as a behavior becomes automatic, so it becomes a habit, it becomes a pattern, it kind of falls into this 4-stage process, the decision-making part of your brain, or the frontal lobe, goes to sleep in some form, and the basal ganglia takes over. This is how habits and addictions can become emotional. So that's when people say there's an emotional component to my eating, there's an emotional component to smoking, to drinking, whatever it is. That's because when a habit becomes an addiction and becomes automatic, the basal ganglia plays a stronger and stronger and stronger role the longer that response reward process exists throughout our lives. So we can kind of split this into 2 phases. The problem phase includes the cue and the craving, and that's when you realize that something really needs to change. The solution phase includes the response and the reward. This is when you can take action to achieve a change in your desire. All behavior is driven by the desire to solve a problem. Sometimes the problem is good and you want to, you notice something good and you want to obtain that, but sometimes the problem that you're experiencing is pain and you want to relieve it. Either way, if it's positive or negative feedback, everything that you do, the purpose of every habit is to solve the problems that you face. So you can invert these laws to break a bad habit and to form good habits. So the first law, or cue, if you're trying to create a good habit, make it something very obvious. So you can be as literal as setting an alarm to go off on your phone. The second law, or craving, you need to make it attractive. So something as silly as buying a really great outfit to go to the gym. So you get excited, you set your alarm goes off, you make it attractive by putting on something that makes you feel very confident, and make it easy for yourself if you're trying to form a new habit. Starting small, setting goals, and meeting those goals, and then expanding upon them is the best way to create a new behavior instead of trying to change everything immediately all at once. That can be overwhelming, create negative connotations, and things don't tend to stick. That's true for dieting, exercising, weight loss, all things. And then make it satisfying. It is okay to reward yourself throughout the process of trying to change how you live your life. Cheat days are a thing on diets. You get a reward for going to the gym. You need to create positive connotations to the new behavior that you're trying to form. How to break a bad habit. The very first thing to do is, first of all, identify your cue. So what cue in your life? Is it something emotional? Is it a person? Is it a time? Is it work? What is the cue that's triggering this craving for you to do the action that you're trying to avoid? Make your craving unattractive, make it difficult for yourself, and the reward, make it unsatisfying. So it's the complete opposite of what we just talked about and how to break a bad habit and how to create a good habit. But it's pretty simple to kind of go through these stages and figure out, once you understand how these behaviors occur in people, within yourself, how to make a change to break them. So whenever you want to change a behavior, you can simply ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? And how can I make it satisfying? This can, like I said, be used to reach any goal in this new year, as cliche as it may be. If it's weight loss, going to the gym more often, sleeping better, going on date nights more often with your significant other, spending more time with your kids, whatever your goals are for this year. A lot of us are dealing with some anxiety and some depression coming from 2020, which is natural. Creating a positive mind frame and a positive mindset on how to improve your mental health, your physical health, is the best way to achieve it, instead of saying that everything about what you're doing is wrong and making it this very stressful process to say, I have to change. You will not achieve change that way. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about some habits around our circadian rhythm, and that's what I want to focus on today. Even though this first part of the talk can be utilized and pertinent to many different aspects, I don't want to focus on those. I want to focus on circadian rhythm health and hormone balancing. So our body follows an internal timekeeping system known as the circadian clock. The internal clock regulates the body's natural circadian rhythm, which your daily sleep and wakefulness, hunger, digestion, hormonal activity, and other bodily processes follow and respond to. The circadian clock consists of a cluster of 20,000 neurons known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, and this is located in the hypothalamus at the base of the brain. When your eyes perceive light during the day, they activate cells that travel down a nerve track to the SCN, which lets the brains know it's time to be awake. This triggers a release of hormones, including cortisol. Through the circadian rhythm regulating the production of different types of hormones throughout the 24-hour cycle, we can understand the connection between physical events such as eating, waking up, going to sleep, going to the gym, physical activity, and hormones being out of balance. In our last couple of Women's Health series, we spent a lot of time talking about adrenal fatigue, adrenal burnout, the stages of that, and the cortisol wave. And this is directly connected into that, because when you have adrenal burnout, any stage, or adrenal fatigue, any type of hormone imbalance at any stage in your life, male or female, it will be affected and improved upon by having a better circadian rhythm, having a better day-to-day routine, because you can naturally kind of improve upon this production cycle. So let's talk about how that kind of works. When the sun rises in the morning, your body produces cortisol, and this is a hormone that is made to feel refreshed, alert, waking up. And in a healthy person, this will completely decrease throughout the day until the sun goes down and feels